The game is changing, and if you want to get ahead, you're going to have to do these things. Yo, what's good, guys? Inswain with Inswain Audio. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new, make sure to subscribe and stick around because I drop videos every single day just like this. You're not going to want to miss out. Welcome. Today, I'm going to tell you some things that you need to do or at least consider to come out ahead as a mixing engineer in 2025, whether you're already doing it professionally and you want to, keep it going or advance it, or you're just starting out and you kind of want to, figure out how to get ahead. This video is for you. All right, let's get right into it. First things first, times are changing. People aren't going to studios as much anymore. They still are, of course, but the home studio is becoming more and more prevalent, and it's not going to change in 2025. So with that being said, you need to get good at working with home recordings. You're not going to be mixing professional studio quality recordings most of the time, or at all, maybe, but you're going to be working with a lot of home recordings, my guess is. I do it myself. I work with a ton of home recordings. It's so much cheaper and easier, and the barrier to entry is lower for home recordings now. So more people are able to make music right from their house, and they're doing that as opposed to paying to go to the studio. So what does that mean? You're going to have to work with these home recordings. These home recordings, they can be great. They can be just as good, if not better than some studio recordings. So don't get me wrong, but most of the time they aren't. You're working with a lot of beginners or amateurs. You're going to have to deal with room reflections. You're going to need to know how to minimize those or get rid of those, or at least make them work. Background noise could be a problem as well. People might be using cheap equipment because, like I said, it's cheaper and easier to get into recording at home. But that means that some of the equipment people are using is not as ideal as the U87 in the perfectly treated studio. You might be working with somebody with a USB microphone in an untreated room with room reflections and a baby crying in the background. I've personally dealt with this. I've mixed recordings, there's a baby crying in the background, or there's smoke detectors going off in the recording. Now, I'm not saying this is good or okay, but this is the reality of it. So if you can get good at dealing with these things, you're going to be so much farther ahead than the competition, and people are going to be hiring you because while this isn't ideal, and I'm not advocating for it, this is the reality. So the quicker you can adapt and adjust to it, the more work you're going to get. There might be headphone bleed, or a big one is clipping, because it's easier to record at home. There's a lot more beginners who don't know as much. It's cool, everybody starts somewhere. There's going to be a lot of clipping in the recordings you might work with. So having something like iZotope has a declipper, having a way to deal with clipped recordings to make them sound as best as they can, you're going to come out so far ahead in 2025. And this applies to not just home recordings or whatever level you're at, any type of client at any level that you're at, this is good advice. And that is to go above and beyond for the clients. Any business, right? Anything you do, it's good advice. The more you go above and beyond, the more people will return to you. But if you're working with these home recordings, some examples might be helping them export their multi-tracks or stems. I have to do this a lot. People will say, hey, I have a song I want to get mixed. Okay, great. We go through with it, and first of all, they might not even know what multi-tracks or stems are. They might just send you one MP3 file, and you got to explain to them, hey, for mixing, I need the multi-tracks. What is a multi-track? How do I export it? Why is there a difference, right? So the more you can go above and beyond and hold the hand of the person trying to export, that's just customer service. You might have to tell them how to turn the effects off or to leave them on if you want when exporting, or how to make the files sync up so they're not trimming the silence at the beginning so that not everything starts right at the 0 point, right? You want things to line up. You gotta go above and beyond and help your clients to give you the best product so you can give them the best result, right? You're helping each other, and they're going to see that as you taking the extra step, and guess what? They're more likely to rehire you or to even continue working with you in the first place. Maybe they don't even know how to transfer files. What's WeTransfer? What's Dropbox? How do I email these? What's a zip file, right? You'd be surprised that you might be thinking I'm sounding crazy, but the amount of times that I do this is like almost a daily occurrence for me. You might even need to explain to the person what the difference between editing, mixing, and mastering is. You'd be surprised how many times people come to me for mixing and mastering, and they send me a file that's just a stereo mix. Their song's already mixed, whether they realize it or not. I'm just mastering it. Or maybe it's not mixed, but they don't have the multi-track, so I can't mix it. I can only master, right? This sounds crazy. You gotta trust me. Like, this is a thing. In 2025, you're working with a lot of home recordings, people that aren't as experienced, and that's okay because everybody starts somewhere. And these are the people who are actually looking for mix engineers. You know, you might not be able to work with your favorite band right off the bat or ever, but that's okay. You can still make great music with people that are new to the game. Help them out, grow with them. Another thing that's really recent is in 2025, you might have to be working with AI files, AI stems, whether they use an AI stem splitter or the voice that's in the song is AI. Sounds crazy, but just the other day I mixed my first song and it was all AI. They used AI to split the stems, and they used AI to either convert their voice or, I don't know, somebody's voice. It was an AI voice recording, and I had to mix that. And, you know, it might be getting a little better in 2025, but my prediction is, at least at this point, AI is not that good sounding. It's very artifacty and grainy, and you can tell AI, right? So I had to mix a voice that was completely AI, and I've never done that before, but I was willing to do it. I did my best. I did what I could. But if you're not willing to do these things and to adapt, you're not going to make it in 2025. Or maybe, you know, that's a little extreme. You'll make it, but you're not going to make it as far. If you're willing to take on these projects, that's just going to make you better, get you more practice, get you more clients, and get you more money. And another thing that it's been prevalent, and trust me, it's not going anywhere in 2025, and that is working with 2-track recordings, meaning vocal is one file, instrumental is another. Maybe there's multiple vocals, but all of the instruments, instrumentation, beat, whatever, is in one file. That is becoming more and more common for whatever reason. That's another story. But if you aren't good at working with a 2-track instrumental, you're going to be so far behind in 2025. I get it. Stems are better. The track outs are better. But let's be honest, most people either can't afford it, don't know about it, don't have access to it, or just don't care enough, don't see the benefits. And you're going to be working with 2 tracks a lot. So the better you can get at working with a 2-track instrumental, the farther ahead you're going to come out in 2025. There's videos on my channel of how to mix vocals with a 2-track instrumental, and there's plenty of other videos from other people as well. If you want to practice that, there's tricks you can do to make it work. So with that being said, guys, try to implement these moving forward into 2025, and you'll come out ahead. I plan on doing the same thing. Anyways, guys, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. And Swain with Inswain Audio. I'll see y'all tomorrow, man. Peace.